If I had to start completely over in 2026, no audience, no momentum, no shortcuts, these are the businesses I would seriously consider building. Not because they're trendy for a few months, because they are scalable, realistic, and actually make sense considering where the internet is going. The first business I would look at is fantasy sports websites. So this would be a website built around fantasy sports tools, analytics, news, etc. Things fantasy players actually use on a week-to-week basis. A good example of this is a site like Fantasy Pros, where users aren't just reading articles, they're interacting with data. One reason I like these types of websites is they are basically infinitely scalable. Once you build the core systems of things like rankings, projections, player comparisons, and lineup tools, you can keep expanding into more sports, more leagues, more stats, more premium features. So you may be wondering, why now? Why would fantasy sports websites like this do well these days? I think traditional blogs are in trouble long term. You may have heard me talk about this, but just writing articles manually, I don't think is going to help you succeed or even stay afloat if you have a website in 2026 and beyond. Fantasy sports sites like Fantasy Pros are different. They're interactive. They give users a reason to return daily or weekly. They work extremely well with free and paid membership models, which is a great way to have more consistent income month to month. And fantasy sports keywords are more popular than ever with incredibly high user intent. The next business I would look at is Amazon low content books. Low content books are things like coloring books, puzzle books, journals, activity books, etc. Not writing a full novel that would take you hundreds of pages to complete. You're creating a physical product that Amazon prints and ships for you. So it's kind of like print on demand. So you can create multiple themes, targeting different niches, launching a series instead of one-off books. You may be wondering, well, why would this work now? Amazon printing and Amazon ebooks, things like that have been around a long time. Well, Amazon handles printing, shipping, and customer service for you. And tools like BookBolt do a lot of the heavy lifting. They help you with research, layouts, ideas. I actually have a full video about this, so I'm not going to get too in the weeds about BookBolt. I also think it's important to have ways of selling physical products going into the future, because I think the rise of AI is going to make digital products less and less valuable, and you will be able to sell them for less and less money to stay competitive. Another interesting type of business I found out about the last few months is print-on-demand metal posters. Print-on-demand, as you may know, essentially is when the company that you're selling the product on, basically their website, that company creates the product for you, ships it, handles a lot of the customer support, and gets it to the customer. They don't even make it until the customer buys it. So it's maximum efficiency. Most of the time when people think of print on demand, they think of t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone cases, stuff like that. But with metal posters at websites like Displate, you can create all sorts of different posters, wall art, premium prints, things people actually want to display. You design it once and a company prints and ships it when someone orders it. Again, the classic print-on-demand model added to a totally different type of content, a newer type of poster that has a different feel to it, a different look to it that I think is more modern. And you might be wondering, well, how do you scale that? Well, it actually scales because you create the design once, fulfillment is automated, and you don't have to have inventory at your home. But the difference here is positioning. I think these could be popular right now because these are physical products. They exemplify different types of media. Like it could be based on someone's favorite video game, someone's favorite anime, someone's favorite characters. AI can help you create the designs. Metal posters are less competitive than t-shirts. They can be high ticket items. They feel more premium than a regular printout. These are physical products also that people keep, not just wear once and throw away. These are things that last for years, maybe decades. People can keep preserved on their wall. They're sturdy, they have good quality, and they just look really nice. So you're not competing with millions of generic designs. You're selling artwork or statements that people actually want on their wall that will also last the test of time. Next, we have something that's a little bit out there. It's a little bit different from stuff that I would normally cover, and it is commissioning art. This can be done digital or physical, and it's about selling commissioned or custom artwork for people, basically on a one-to-one order basis. I've actually known people that have done this, and they've done pretty well, making all sorts of weird, obscure art for somebody who just either doesn't have time to make it on their own or just wants something very particular that's hard to find from a general source online. So some places people do this would be like Fiverr. There are certain subreddits you can check. DeviantArt is known for this as well. Now, the scale of this is a little bit different, and it may require certain talents, but I believe AI can actually make this better in many cases, even though I don't necessarily think AI is going to just do all of the work for you. Now, when it comes to scale here, I believe you can scale price more than you can scale volume. So instead of volume, you focus on quality, customization, niche styles. Maybe you have some sort of username that doesn't use your real name, and you can build that username's credibility up on sites like DeviantArt or the right subreddits, and then you can start charging more of a premium over time because you've built that reputation. So you might be wondering, again, why now for something like commissioned artwork? Well, AI doesn't replace artists, it assists them. It can do a lot, but a lot of times people can spot when something is AI generated. And also, when people want something very particular, a lot of times commissioned artwork may not even be done in a way that's digital. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But you can use AI to assist you and then use your skills to create the final product. So you can use AI to brainstorm ideas, create rough drafts, explore variations, speed up workflows, and things like that, and then finalize the work with tools like Affinity or through in-person or digital art. Human creativity plus AI tools is a huge advantage right now if you know how to use the right tools. And again, this doesn't even have to be digital. This could also be done in the form of paintings or sculptures or all sorts of different types of art. Now, none of these businesses are magic, and all of them will take work. They take time, they take learning, they take consistency. But if I was starting a business again in 2026, these allow you to create systems, assets, and products that don't require you to constantly trade hours of the day for money. Let me know if you want me to do more deep dives on any one of these in particular. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.